Alright, so today I'm working on the Pontiac G8 in the new garage. Got my neon rope lights on. Give you a quick walk around. I got all the way up and over. Anyway, Pontiac G8. I've had two different sets of these Hooker Maxflow mufflers. This is what they look like. I had to have them custom welded on here, but they're called the Maxflow muffler. Had to have that tip, the inlet welded on. These are I think these are 3.5 inch tips I bought online. 2.5 out to 3.5 inch splits, which look good in here with the GXP rear diffuser. Unfortunately, this is the second set because they rattle. I don't know if you can hear it, but when I crank the car, it has a hell of a rattle in it. Especially when it's cold, you can hear this muffler particularly rattles. And the other set I had were stainless steel, and they rattle. And the consensus online was the stainless steel baffles would break. So I got these, which are just the aluminized. They said they fixed it. Well, that was a lie. This one broke as well, and it rattles. So it's really annoying. I don't like stuff that's not perfect. Unfortunately, I don't want to buy another set, and they do this eventually like they seem to all do. So my choices were MagnaFlow, which seem to have a terrible drone, which I like MagnaFlow in my Mustangs and stuff, but in these cars they have a real bad drone. And they're $699. I don't want to spend that kind of money for a set of mufflers. And there are other choices, Flowmaster and stuff like that, and just not what I want to do. So I got online, and for something that just bolts on, eBay has it going on. They have some imported Chinese junk, and I say junk, I mean, here they are. They are $300 for the pair, 150 a piece. That's shipped to your door. And they look pretty good. I mean, they're just a muffler, you know? It's a 2.5 inch inlet with split 2.5 inch tails at the back with the rolled ends on it. It's not quite as big as my 3.5 there, but again, that's just on the end. You see how it's swole up there? But these are 2.5 inch with the rolled tip, so they won't look too bad. I have a theory. These are either going to be really quiet or they're going to be hella loud. I'm going with hella loud. I feel like I'll put them on, they'll probably sound okay. But once they carbon up, once you drive them, get some miles on them and they get the carbon in them, I feel like they're going to be super aggressive. Either way, for 300 bucks, we're going to try them out and see how they do. They can't be any worse than those Hooker Maxflows. I like the way the Hooker Maxflows sound. They're kind of throaty. They got a quiet kind of sound to them at idle. When you're driving around, they're not obnoxious. They don't drone. When you get on it, it's kind of authoritative, you know, but it's not obnoxious. I've got long tube headers, 3 inch X pipe, 3 inch exhaust out the back until it gets the mufflers in there 2.5. But I like the mufflers, I just don't like the rattles. And after going through 2 sets, I'm done with the Hooker mufflers. So we'll see what these Chinese knockoffs do off of eBay. I'm gonna put them on real quick, and then we'll fire it up and see what happens. All right, pretty simple. 2 bolts, comes out of here, slide the bracket off, good to go. So this was a bracket they made me at the muffler shop, but you can see it here, it clearly says Hooker Maximum Flow. And there it is. So side by side, this is what they look like. And now we're gonna put it back together. Okay, a little massaging later. There's a new muffler installed on that side. This is the existing Maxflow on this side. Obviously the tip is bigger, looks more aggressive and slash cut. This one's a little smaller, but it's got the roll, which kind of looks nice, but noticeably smaller. Get out and look at it like this in the back. I do like the bigger ones, but you can see they're just bigger to right here. And then it clearly necks down to go into that Y split. The other one has the identical Y split, just like this, and only right here does it neck up. So I'm not really losing any horsepower technically. I mean, when you look in here, it's still 2.5 right there, but just a little smaller. So anyway, that's what it looks like there. Get on this creeper. And this is what it looks like underneath. And around to here, to this flex joint, which comes in them. You see my exhaust goes all the way up. And there you go. So a replacement for the Maxflow. I'm here to switch out this bad boy over here on the right, which is the Hooker Maxflow that's coming out from the passenger side. But this is the no-name, knockoff, Chinese, eBay, whatever you want to call it, replacement. And once I get them both changed, then I'll fire it up. You can see what it sounds like. All right, so let's see if I camera off. All right, so I finished the install of the mufflers. Had a little bit of issue with the 2 mounting brackets on the top. Probably could have cut one off and just used one, but I made them work. I had to bend them a little bit. So a little tip, if you got a jack handle like this, it makes a great little persuader. Just use this end and you can bend those stainless steel brackets up and down. My Hooker Maxflow only had 1 bracket, so it's pretty easy to get them into the little rubber slots and adjust it. And once I manipulated them 3 or 4 times, the driver's side wasn't too bad. Just had to spread them apart a little bit, and they actually fit fine. You can see here, it's got a nice little bit of room. I always take like a crescent wrench and put it over top of it when I'm tightening it down to give me that little bit of space, and then I'll take it out, and it gives me a nice little bit of space between this and the rear valence, so it doesn't rub and vibrate. Now you'll notice the way the tips, they stick out about, not quite ½ an inch here. So just past the diffuser, okay? Looks great, right? So this one actually fit really good. This is the first one I put on. When I got the passenger side, I had a little bit more trouble. Not only the brackets too close to the muffler, which put the muffler up too high, but they were too close together, so I had to spread them apart. I had to bend the brackets up, which lowers the muffler down. Had to do that. That one took me a bunch of tries to get it the right height so the tips weren't hitting the valence. Once I got it on there, I noticed that the tips weren't sticking out as much as the other side. So what you'll notice here, see here, they barely come right here to the edge of the valence. So this one is just under the valence, and so is this one. So they're sticking in about ½ inch. So this is what happens. I mean, it's import stuff. It's not as good a quality. It's probably why they're $150 each, $300 instead of $700 for some Maxflows. That'd probably be perfect. But if I wanted to, I could just cut the tip off right here at the muffler, get another set of tips, and just put the tip on and adjust it to the right length where it's sticking out properly, and then weld it, and it'd be fine. But for now, this is how it fits. So it's just not consistent. It's off a little bit. Is it gonna matter? No. Could it burn the valence? Probably not. I mean, realistically, no. But I am OCD, so I know it and it bothers me, so we're gonna fix it. Hopefully it's not gonna rattle. We're getting ready to crank it up and do a quick listing test to see how it sounds. So here we go. the new mufflers. So far, it's pretty quiet inside the cabin. Very close to what the Maxflow sounded like. Like I say, most mufflers are going to be pretty quiet until you drive them a little bit and get some carbon deposits built up in them. So I'm not going to give a full report on them just yet, but they are not bad. I mean, so far out of the box, I am pretty impressed. I mean, initial startup, they sounded like popcorn, so I'm going to assume that just being brand new, maybe the fiberglass packing or whatever in them's got to build up a little bit, so we'll see. Never fails. Always a slow car in front of you when you want to go fast. Oh, by the way, that was just quarter throttle. If I nailed it, this thing would go crazy with that stalker murder in it. And we're stopping to turn. Let's just get out and see what it sounds like now that we've drove it a little bit. Still has that popcorn sound to it. That's really weird. I mean, in the car it sounds good. I don't know what that is. I guess you're going to have to live with it for a little while.